All right. How is everyone doing? We are coming upon 6 o'clock here very shortly, in like under 60 seconds. Welcome, 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 and welcome. I hope you are all doing so fantastic on this wonderful dark moon. Welcome to Nomine Hekate. Welcome, welcome. Well, my name is Mandy Wild, and I am known as the Wild Medium. I'm a psychic medium, an astrologer, and I have dedicated myself to the radical rituals and education of the very highly misunderstood darker aspects of the divine feminine. A very special thank you to everyone who is here tonight, to everyone who will be here watching this in the nights to come. Thank you so much for sharing that time with us. And thanks to my new Patreon subscribers, Joni, Mark, Maita, Janae, and Tiny Beautiful Offerings. Speaking of offerings, thank you to our sister Liz for dyeing us another beautiful egg for Deipnon. She like kills it with these, and I love them, and they're so beautiful. Melanie, hi, welcome, sister. She usually takes a photo of them, and so when she does, I will definitely post it on the Patreon and Instagram. I'm always really excited to see what she has in store. So thank you again for that, Liz. Speaking of, have I told you how much I appreciate you all? I like your enthusiasm, your contribution. This community means everything to me. It means the world to me. So seriously, so much gratitude going toward you always. And yeah, as you know, my goal for Nomine Hekate is to provide a very warm space for individuals to connect spiritually, to strengthen their bonds, and to express gratitude to Hekate. So, as always, this is an open door to other devotees as well as those who are just Hekate curious, right? And just coming up on this path. So we gather here around the dark/new moon. It goes to, this is the dark moon tonight. Sometimes we're under the new moon. Those are just days apart. But we also now gather under the full moon. So that gives us 2 times to gather and nominate Hekate in the month. And I love that we're doing that now. So a little bit about the structure of tonight. We're going to chat about Hekate Sotera, right? And we're going to hold a communal Deipnon, which is a monthly supper offering. And then we'll end on a light ritual. But we're going to be talking about Hekate Sotera, the world's savior. Boy, do we have lots to say about that. But let's start by calling in our corners before we get going on that. And a lot of you know this. If you are on Patreon, I do have it written up there for you to follow along with. All right. I call to the east where the air takes flight, filling our lungs with breath pure of life. I call to the south where the fire burns bright, protecting and guiding like torches in the night. I call to the west where the water flows might, feeding and nourishing our gift of inner sight. I call to the north where the earth holds tight, grounding us here under the moon's dark light. I call to spirit in quiet introspection, a journey within, seeking soul's connection. So off the bat, Melanie, I'm so happy for your additions, your new additions to your home. Hail Hekate, new pooches on site. And I've seen some videos of their little black pooch, and so full of puppy energy. I love it. Your offering tonight is chocolate covered pomegranates. Yes, please. Oh my, dark chocolate to be specific. Oh heck yeah. Yes, 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 yes. Yum. And your new Amara Philo Nix. Welcoming her to the pack, right? Or maybe she's welcoming us to the pack, rather, right? Totally obsessed. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for joining. And tonight we're going to unpack a bit about Hekate Sotera. All righty, Aphrodite in the house. Liz, we just gave a big shout out to you. You can go back and listen to it afterwards, but we were thanking you for your beautifully dyed egg offerings. And I made a promise that I probably shouldn't have had, but I said I would post a picture, if you didn't mind, on the Patreon. If you were cool with it, of course. I shouldn't have made that promise without asking, but I did. Yikes. Yes, she's so awesome. Okay, rad. Okay, so we're going to unpack a bit about Hekate Sotera. Now, this is a bit more challenging sometimes when we talk about Hekate Sotera, right? It's like it gets used for a lot of other goddesses and gods, like Athena, like Artemis, even Apollo, right? Which has been called Sotera. Sotera is the female form of savior. So we see Hekate Sotera show up in the Chaldean oracles. Now, bear with me while I go through this little part right here. In the Chaldean oracles, Hekate is portrayed as the world soul, anima mundi, the vital metaphysical principle through which divine intelligibility flows into the material world. What did I just say? She's not merely one deity among many. No. She is the essential mediator between spirit and matter. As Sotera, the savior, right? She must be saving us from something. Her protection is directed not just toward the individual soul, but toward liberating it from the density of the sublunar realm. Monica, welcome. Nice. All the witches in the house. If you're on Patreon, I'll be able to see those in a second. I'm focusing on like one screen, and so it gets difficult to do it. But I will get over there and go back and forth to saying some shout outs. Now, I just ended on her protection is directed not just toward the individual soul, but toward liberating it from the density of the sublunar realm. That realm between the spiritual and the physical realm. It's this sphere of change. It is the sphere of illusion. It is the sphere of decay. In this view, what she saves us from is entrapment in matter itself, right? Guiding the soul back to its divine origin. You can see how this epithet is a bit more abstract than some of the other ones that we cover, right? But kind of makes sense if we're talking about like this, like Hekate savior, right? It feels a little more voluptuous. It feels a little bit more blousy, right? And a less like narrow and direct. It feels a little bit more encompassing. So remember that sublunar sphere is everything that is happening between the moon and like this earthly realm. So this like we're like where we're standing and kind of look where she is helping save and liberate us from that density of this sublunar realm. Now, that realm is between, like I said, the spiritual and the physical. It's the sphere of change. It is what saves us from its entrapment in matter itself, guiding the soul back to its divine origin. In classical thought, especially in Neoplatonism, this sublunar realm, which again, everything beneath the moon, was seen as a domain of impermanence, right? So of that illusion that we're talking about. I love that it's Friday and we're talking about this too, Venus and like sublunar and anyway, but it's governed by fate and the shifting influences of the material world. Hekate Sotera, as this intermediary, provided the soul with a path of return, a way to ascend beyond the bindings of physical incarnation and reunite with the divine intellect. So in ritual and theurgy, practitioners would invoke her as a guide to purify the soul, to dissolve any sort of distractions of the senses, to protect against spiritual confusion. Traditionally, this involved maybe some elaborate rites, which some of us here tonight, we practice some of these rites, which we love, and they usually have to do with like a fixed hour or maybe a fixed day. We're coming together under the dark moon. These would involve maybe chanted invocations, sacred syllables, offerings that are made at the thresholds between worlds or crossroads. In this framework, couldn't say that right. In this framework, Hekate's role was both cosmological and personal. She guarded the liminal points of the soul's journey, right? Which we are always in. Keep in mind, we are always in this liminal point of our soul's journey. And she would ensure safe passage between these like visible and invisible worlds, these realms. But what does this look like now to our contemporary psyche? To invoke Hekate Sotera today might not always involve like the incense and the incantations. Just because some of us do that does not mean it's for everyone. I love, and this, this gets sparked up and was recently sparked up in a group of mine, but we all have our own personal relationships with the deity or deities that we choose to mingle with and venerate. And it is not wrong, however you choose to do it. That is between you and the deity, right? So please don't let anyone ever tell you that you are doing something wrong. It is what you feel is right. It is how you feel, right? 1,000%. Now, more often, it's found in maybe those quiet, reflective states that we are in. When we are choosing to step out of an old story, when we're choosing to release any shame or whatever that we're still carrying, that's been kind of put on us and that we've chosen to kind of lug around. It's when we choose to release maybe addiction, behaviors that don't serve us, It's when we choose to start to reclaiming our own sovereignty. It is the moment when someone stops confusing productivity with worth, or chooses healing over protection, truth over performance. Her saving power in a modern context may show up as simply cutting through the noise of fear. Maybe it's cutting through the noise of media or of other dogma. Maybe even an inherited identity. Right? And finding something to tether onto that's real, something enduring, like this community here, like you and me and we. In this light, Hekate as Sotera becomes a lived experience. She is present at our therapist's visit, at the office, at the therapist's office, or on Zoom, however it is that we see our therapist. She is present and a lived experience in the ritual baths that we take to prep ourselves or to just unwind after a long day. She is present in the solitary decisions that we start to take. The decision to just begin again. She guides the soul through our internal thresholds just as much as the cosmic ones. Because the saving is no longer just an escape from matter, but a reclamation of presence within it. Our aligned consciousness. Now, some say Hekate is only for the crossroads, only for the liminal hours, only for the threshold moments when the path forks, and then we cry out for her to help us find direction. But I say, I think some of you may say, life is a threshold. Every breath we take, every truth that we try to wrestle with up in here, every choice we make is all liminal. Because we are never not standing at a crossroads. So how can she be anything but a constant? To honor Hekate Sotera is not to wait for the storm. It's to walk daily beside the one who knows the storm's every pattern, who parts the clouds before they even start to gather, and who will calm our hearts so that we no longer have to carry the weight of dreading the storm that we cannot see. To carry her torch, which we all do here, even when no one sees the shadows. To trust her keys are not just when we are locked out, but when we are also locked in. Sotera is the one who reminds us that we do not need saving from sin or flaw or imperfection. She saves us from forgetting who we are beneath all of this matter. That is Sotera. She saves us from the soul's sleep, from the illusions that we are only this body, that we are only the wound, that we are only one very small version of ourselves. Hekate saves us by reuniting us with the holy spark or the holy fire within us, that hieros pir, that we were born with. The light we mistake as lost when life begins to bury it. It's not, though, right? So Tara does not come to flatter our ego or even promise us ease. She comes to reunite. And that, my brothers and sisters, is liberation, real liberation. So Tara asks tonight, what are you ready to remember? What are you ready to be reconnected with? Are you willing to remember that you come from more? Are you ready to remember that you are more? To walk with Hekate, Sotera, is to walk with someone who knows that saving the self is not selfish. It's a fucking spiritual act. And you don't need to be at the edge of crisis to call her name. You don't need to wait for the night to fall or for the door to close on us. She's not a goddess for sometimes. She's the pulse behind the transformation that never ends. She is that voice in our spines that say, this way to the truth. And if you've ever felt like your spirit was in pieces, if you've ever searched the world for something to reflect your worth, your voice, your hieros pir, your fire, then know this. Hekate Sotera is already with you, because she is the fire within your chest that never went out. So remind yourself of that. Carry her with you, because she's there with in every decision, every ending, every new beginning, every step, every breath we take. How is she a goddess of sometimes? That is the very chain, the very connector that keeps us alive and going. She is every moment between these words that I'm saying, the lag in video that you're getting, the breath I'm taking. She is a goddess of always. To walk with Sotera is to walk with someone who knows that salvation is not just handed down, but it is something that is risen into. And again, to save the self is not selfish. It's a holy revolt against everything that taught you to forget your power. Now, I know there's a bit of a thread that I have woven in here that lends itself to an Azostos flavor. That is not a mistake. When my book is released, and I'll be releasing some new chapters here in the next month. There's a reason for that. And you'll soon understand what I'm making a fuss about this anyway. Yes, holy revolt, she says. And if you can see that, that is what makes us devotees, 1000%. Holy Revolt is my band name. There you go. That's a great band name. Do it. Do it, Liz. All right. So it is Deipnon. I'm not going to keep you on here forever today. I had incredible insomnia last night, as one might during any sort of new moon, dark moon, full moon. It just, there's things that have to come to the surface, and my goodness, I guess I needed to be awake for it. So I am going to go through Deipnon with you, and we're going to do this together. You too, insomnia. I'm sorry. At this point, like when it happens on a lunation like this, right? When I'm like, oh, it's the dark moon or new moon or full moon, like it's kind of like, okay, I feel honored. I must be getting some sort of download. And it'll probably come to me later, but I'm too tired to even think of that now. You had vivid dreams. I hope they were good. Very good. Oh, I think I remember you talking about one of them. So our Deipnon is a small offering of food and or drink, maybe something like honey, wine, bread, eggs, garlic, olive oil, herbs, biscuits, fruit, dates, meat or fish, whatever. Maybe it's something that you had for dinner and you set aside a little bit. Maybe a little incense. Whatever it is, you can gather it. I've got mine right here behind me. And we're going to do a little visualization, sort of meditation, more visualization for Sotera. And then we'll go into our little rite. We've got a little litany written. If you can see it on Patreon, I've written it down. The words that are italicized, I would love for you to say them with me. Or if you want to read the whole thing with me, that would be great. I'm going to, when I get to that part, that point of the evening where I'm reading the litany of the self-saved, you will probably see me like moving directions, just so I'm making clear what part I'm on. It is like a call and response, meant to be a call and response, and then we'll end so you can enjoy your lovely evenings. But before we get to that part, once we leave the visualization, you will hear me speaking a little bit of Greek, and then that's an indication that I'm about to go into the litany. All right, sound good? All right, dark chocolate covered pomegranates. I'm so jealous they're not in my mouth, but that's okay. They're going to the goddess. We love that for her. All right. I bet you can hear all the cars without mufflers going by right now. They're waking us up. All right, so you can begin to close your eyes when you're ready. Get comfortable. You can take a deep breath. Allow your body to relax into this present moment, letting go of any tension. Inhale deeply, filling those lungs with fresh energy, and exhale slowly, releasing any distractions, any worries. It's Friday. What are you carrying with you? Go ahead and release that best that you can. With each breath, start to feel yourself becoming more grounded, more centered. You are going to be entering a space of clarity, of truth, free from the noise and distractions of the physical world. Go ahead and put a protective orb around you. I like to use a nice golden light. You can use whatever light that makes you feel safe, protected. I like it to feel warm. However you like to have that feel inside, but it is radiating love and you feel supported. You can go ahead and envision some roots growing out through your tailbone, that root chakra, maybe the bottoms of your feet, digging down into the center of the planet, maybe further if you could get them down in there. And then I want you to imagine a light from the crown of your head shooting directly up into the next realm. Allow it to just puncture whatever is in its way. It is not going to be stopped. It is going up, up, up. Now imagine you're standing at the edge of a beautiful, dense forest. Notice the trees. They're ancient. And you know they are wise. Take a deep breath in. I want you to smell the air. It is filled with the scent of wild herbs. And in front of you, a path winds its way through that forest. It appears to be shrouded in mist. As you step forward, notice the mist starts to part. As it's parting, it is revealing a very radiant beam of golden light. This light, you know it as Sotera's presence, her essence of salvation and protection, and you feel drawn to it. It's almost like it holds answers to questions that you have been seeking. And as you step closer, you realize that that light is not just outside of you. It's actually within you. It's a part of you. With each breath that you take, this light is growing brighter. And the mist that's surrounding just begins to lift. These are the illusions of this physical world. These are false desires. These are distractions and attachments. And they are dissolving at the very presence of this light. Enjoy that for a second. As you stand in this light, you feel a shift in you. It's your perception. The world around you begins to reveal its true nature beyond the surface of your physical eyes. You begin to understand that what you once thought was important, is fleeting. And what truly matters is eternal, is unchanging. Feel Sotera around you. Her presence is powerful, but steady. You feel this deep sense of recognition. Acknowledge in your hearts that she is the one that sees through all illusions, who helps you perceive those deeper truths of existence. You feel a wave of peace, and a wave of clarity starts to wash over you. Shoulders, start to feel your shoulders. They're feeling lighter, lighter by the second. You are starting to understand that your very essence is not bound by time, nor space, nor material concerns. You are a soul of infinite potential. You are connected to the divine. Take a moment here. Reflect on any illusions that may be holding you back right now. Maybe they're fear. Maybe it's an external pressure. See them as shadows, and they are dissolving as quickly as that mist that was around you when you first came into this forest. Let them go, knowing that they no longer serve your highest purpose. I want you to take your Deipnon in your mind's eye, and now in that cleared path where the mist is gone, where the illusions are gone, I want you to set it down. Add whatever you want to. Make it elaborate. Make it simple. This is yours that you're giving. Whatever you want to offer up to Hekate. And when you're satisfied with it, I want you to turn away and face the opposite direction and begin to walk back into where you came from. And while you do, with each step, I want you to repeat and affirm with yourself, I am free from the illusions of the physical world. I see clearly and I walk in the light of truth. I trust in the wisdom that comes from within. I release all that is false. As this visualization starts to come to a close, I want you to take a deep breath in, and without turning back to look behind you, thank Hekate Sotera for her guidance. Let her know that you know she is always with you. Thank her for helping you see beyond the illusions of this realm. Thank her for guiding you toward your highest truth. Slowly begin to bring your awareness back to the present moment, carrying with you all the clarity, all the peace that you have received. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes, knowing the divine light of Sotera shines with you always. Setimo Hekate, Evkaristoia Vemeria Prostasia Avexia, Hekate, Hekate Sotera, Hekate, Hekate Sotera, Hekate, Hekate Sotera. Litany of the Saved Self. I stand at the threshold, and she stands with me. I have been torn, silenced, and scattered, and she calls me whole. I was told to shrink, to wait, to be grateful for crumbs, and she sets the table for my return. I was made to forget who I am, and she hands me the key of remembrance. They said I need rescuing, but she said, save yourself and I will walk beside you. She is not the storm. She is the path through it. She is not just the light. She is the torch that makes the fire bearer. To call her Sotera is to call myself sacred. To save myself is to walk in her name. I stand at the threshold, and she stands beside me. I have been torn, silenced, and scattered, and she calls me whole. I was told to shrink, to wait, to be grateful for crumbs. Yet she sets the table and waits for me. I was made to forget who I am, and she hands me the key of remembrance. They said I need rescuing, but she said, save yourself and I will walk beside you. She is not the storm. She is the path through the storm. She is not just the light. She is the torch that makes me the fire bearer. To call her Sotera is to call myself sacred. To save myself is to walk in her name. I stand at the threshold, and she stands with me. I have been torn, silenced, and scattered, and she calls me whole. I was told to shrink, to wait, to be grateful for crumbs. Yet she sets the table for my return. I was made to forget who I am, and she hands me the keys of remembrance. They said I needed rescuing. She said, save yourself and I will walk beside you. She is not the storm. She is the path through it. She is not just the light. She is the torch that makes me the fire bearer. To call her Sotera is to call myself sacred. To save myself is to walk in her name. we've called upon Esoterra, and we have called upon our own divinity. Together, we walk this path of remembrance, of strength, of self-liberation. Take a few deep breaths here. Really feel the power of the litany settle into your bodies, and continue to feel Hekate standing beside you. I'll share with you the sigil that I created for Esoterra here. I don't know if you can see it. Feel free to use it if you like. Feel free to use it if you like. You like it? Oh, nice. Thank you. Nice. I've got a prayer to Hekate Esoterra that is going to be up on my Patreon. Wilder tier. I think you get the invocations, hymns that will be released on the new moon on the 27th. So that will be going up. So a reminder, the new moon is on April 27th. Keep track of those visions that you're getting. They are all important. They are all relevant. Anything that we get from the spirit world, I love to just keep written down, and you can always feel free to share with me, and I'm sure with anyone else in here, because they are valid and they count. Everything like this counts. It is important. Again, Hekate does not show up to each of us the same way. She shows up vastly different, and however she is showing up to you, or how any deity or divine energy is showing up to you, that is important, and it is relevant, and it means something. It is significant, and it is how you personally build your own relationship to the goddess. And I am so happy when you share them with me, and I know the other people on this live stream feel the same. I feel like we are all very like-minded, and it helps us better understand our goddess as well, right? Because she is very multifaceted, multidimensional, just like we are. And so it's kind of like being introduced to someone like that is like your best friend, right? And you go to introduce them to someone else, and they're not getting the same read on them, but they understand a little bit more about you even when they're introduced to someone that is close to you, that means something to you. So just a little soapbox speech right there. On May 31st, just a little bit of housekeeping before I go. On May 31st, my 8-week oracular mediumship course will be live. I believe it is going for $199 for the full 8 weeks, and it is being released over on the Miskatonic Books new online course platform. I will be very graciously joining faculty like Shea Belay and Jack Grail, who have both tons of deliciousness up there already. They've each got a course up there already. And then on August 19th, I will be hosting an online lecture and workshop called Hekate Ezostos, the Unbound, for Salem Witch Fest 2025. Tickets are already being sold for that, and links are in all my things. And I think they're like $30, and it's like an 1.5 to 2 hour lecture / workshop. And we'll be doing tons of goodies, and that falls in line with the book that I'm writing. Also, huge thank you to Foolish Fish for the shout out on my birthday last week, and for the lecture. He was highlighting the lecture for Salem Witch Fest that I'm going to be doing. So thank you if you're watching this. Much appreciated. That was a huge surprise and a lovely birthday gift. I've got it clipped on my Patreon if you want to see. I've got it clipped on YouTube and Instagram, Facebook, all the things. But All right, witches and warlocks, I will see you in 2 weeks for the full moon when we have another Hekate, Nomine Hekate. I love you guys, and I'm going to go and check Patreon now as well and make sure I didn't miss any messages because it's hard to read while I do this. All right, love you all. Mwah. Have a good night. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Melanie. So much. And over here, we've got Joni. Oh, Joni, Ron, Kevin, I see you. Thank you so much for joining. And Joni, I appreciate you becoming a new member of the Patreon. Ron, sorry for being late. You're on time. It's all good. You can always go back and rewatch if you choose. So don't even worry. Kevin, hi. Oh gosh, what a joy. You guys are all a treat. Thank you so much. I will be sending my love and warm wishes all your way, and see you in a few weeks. Mwah.